Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. Trying something a little bit different today. It won't affect most of you, but I'm live streaming the Katie Weaver Show on TikTok as well today. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. Always trying to innovate around here and do something new. So welcome to the TikTok family as well. I want to let you know that we are over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. I also want to let you know that you can find me live streaming this event on YouTube or Facebook, Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic, or TikTok, Katie Brower Weaver. So lots and lots of ways to connect. So I also want you to know that I am present in all chat rooms, so you are welcome to comment in any place, and I should see that. So I want to say hi to Sid and hi to Sheila. Glad to see you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. Excuse me. We are definitely moving into to the winter, aren't we? Depending on where you live, I guess. We still don't, we had that big snowstorm in October, but we haven't had any since. So it's kind of weird. We're having like a really long fall. So I'll take it. I love it actually. So that's okay. We love every second of it. So curious to know how everyone is doing. One thing I've noticed the last week in a lot of my clients is excess physical pain. So, chronic pain sufferers and even non chronic pain sufferers seem to be really uncomfortable in their bodies right now, which I think is a little curious. So, I'm curious to know if that's you guys' experience. It's been mine as well, which is, fine. But I'm just hearing that from a lot of you guys that you're feeling uncomfy in your bodies, feeling a little weird. So, anyway, I do want you to know that we will be doing readings in the second half of the show. We have a lot of ground to cover before then, but we will definitely be here for that as well. So, if those that are joining us on TikTok want to welcome you guys, this is a live streaming of the Katie Weaver Show. And so we have lots of topics to cover, and we'll be doing some readings later on in the show. So, welcome. All righty. Well, I'm going to jump into the Facebook chat here quick. Oh, you guys, we had a little scare. I almost didn't do the show today because we couldn't find Skippy. Skippy is my billion-year-old chihuahua that you all know him. He's my little old blind guy that has seizures and takes a lot of medicine and just kind of goes through life really pampered and babied and cuddled and confused. And I was just getting ready for the show and I realized that I didn't know where he was. So typically during the day, he sleeps in my office if that's where I'm working, or he has beds basically in every room of this house. And he wasn't in any of them. And it really scared me. So I went looking and seriously couldn't find him. And we do have a doggy door. And every once in a while, he'll stumble down. There's two stairs to get down. He'll stumble down them and go outside, but it's cold outside. So I didn't really think that he would. And so he did. So after panicking and throwing my shoes on and heading into the backyard, we have a really big backyard. We live on an acre. And so anyway, I found him clear against the back fence, laying in the sunshine, just feeling happy. And it was warm enough out there for him, apparently. He really wasn't cold. So, oh my goodness, really, dang. So I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad he's okay. But, all you doggy moms know stuff like that is so scary, especially with a guy like that, that, has a lot of challenges. And I'm charged with keeping this kid safe. So anyway, yikes. So he is now wrapped tightly in a Boise State blankie and snuggled into his bed so that hopefully he'll, knock it off. We can't be having that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Just jumping into some, oh, yeah, the chat room. Okay. Sid said, tight neck and back. Been making her feel tired these last few days. Okay. Yeah. Oh, she had to put a kitty bell on her dog to keep track of her. That's a good idea. That might work for Skippy, except for that one of our other dogs, Rico, cannot do noises like bells, high pitched, like mostly cell phone notifications and stuff. Like you can't believe how much it like freaks him out. So I don't know. That might ruin his life, but yes, we did build. Scott built a new bed for the pigs, and it's the cutest thing you guys have ever seen. It's like a day bed that's the size, not like a, most day beds are like a twin mattress. This is a day bed that is a crib mattress. So it's not super huge, but it's big enough for them. And it's so cute. We put it in the living room so that they can be near, well, in Scott's office, so they can be near the action, but also off the furniture. Because the older these little pigs get, the more hard on my furniture they've been. And it's not really their fault, it's just the size of them. And their hooves are so sharp. So we had decided that we really wanted to put them in a situation where, they that they had something nice to sleep on, that and they like to be up off the ground. That's part of the challenge. They don't like sleeping close to the ground because they're skittish, they get nervous. And so, at any rate, Scott built them a bed where they're up off the ground. In fact, there's a video in TikTok if you want to go find it, of them sleeping in their bed last night. It was so cute to get them all cuddled up in their little bed and with their blankies. And anyway, they couldn't be happier. So, and me too, because truly I wanted them off my furniture. and but this morning they got up, they had breakfast, they went out to potty, and they came right in and laid down where? Yeah, on the furniture. So a couple of treats later, and I convinced them to move over to their piggy bed. So it's going to take a little bit of training, and that's entirely my own fault because we have allowed this until now and are now discovering that it's not really working out for us. So the good news is pigs are crazy smart and they'll get it all figured out in no time. So we're lucky for that at least. But I'm just putting up a couple of pictures in the chat. And again, there's a whole video in TikTok of them last night getting into their new bed. But anyway, I'm so entertained. And of course, Scott, you guys know, he's he doesn't do anything halfway. So not only did he build them a bed, he built them a beautiful bed that's all stained and finished, and yeah, so that it can go in my living room and, look like it belongs there. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's up in my world. We're excited. Next week, I'm excited because I should be able to see all three of my kids and have some Thanksgiving time with all of them. So I don't know that we're going to get everyone all together. I'm hoping. Mars has not seen her brother in months. So I'm hoping we can get everybody together. But at any rate, we should be able to get everybody, well, I'll get to see everybody. So there you go. Yeah. And my older kids are planning Friendsgiving, to make Thanksgiving with their friends one night this week. It just cracks me up. I love it. They're calling me asking how to make things and how to know how much turkey to buy and all of that kind of stuff. And it's really cool to watch them doing their thing here. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay, fine. Shout out to San Antonio. No, I'm not Kyle's mom. Am I falling into a joke here that I don't understand? Probably. And big hugs to Larry from the chat. Okay. It's so possible. Yeah. Yeah, they like they like the safety of being up off the ground, but I also don't really like them sleeping, like, on a dog bed or a mattress on the ground because then the dogs get in their bed, and then when they get in their bed, somebody gets stepped on or laid on, and it's not a good scene. So it's better. Yep. Yes, Sheila, my sweet and grumpy Skippy. That's right. Yep. Okay. Hey, Renee, I'm glad you made it. Alrighty, so we are going to do some readings here in the second half of the show, but I do want to get into a few things. Oh, Chris said he's been feeling tense all over too. Yeah, there's just been a weird energy afoot. And looking at Bitch Scopes by Kelly McLean, it looks like we're kind of in for that this week. Some up and down energy. Though the Daily Dish today really indicated that we would be in kind of oh, an energy, an energy this week of, or today, of feeling like very, what's the right word? Like the activist, the inner activist in you is coming out. And so I feel like people will be willing to go to the mat today and tomorrow for things that they really care about, which is pretty cool. We'll take it. I think that that's a good place for us to be. Uh, Sometimes even people who don't typically feel like they are an activist at heart feel like they have to stand up and say something or do something. And I feel like that's the energy that we're in. So, with that being said, you might find somebody standing up to you in a way that is not typical. You might also feel like you're the one doing it, defending people at work or at home, you know, or your friends, or maybe you're the one who sees somebody mistreated in public and you stand up for them. And it might not be something that you typically do, and that's okay. But right now, everyone's feeling that, feeling very protective. So let's take a look at Luminous. Luminous is the magazine that I publish every Tuesday. You can find it by heading over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Luminous button. Many of you have already had it emailed to you today. You can also, if you head over to katie-weaver.com, you can sign up right there to get on my mailing list, and then I'll send it out to you every week anyway. But there's a few things in there I wanted to take a look at, so I think this is a good time for that. Let's see. Just noticing that it has Luminous this week went out with the wrong date on it. So there you go. Somebody around here needs to ground. It's okay. I'm not mad. I'll fix it later, but what the hell? I'm not surprised. I've been very scattered this morning. Not just the dog getting lost, but lots of reasons. Okay, here we go. So, I called the magazine this week the Method to the Madness edition because honestly, I feel like we're kind of in a state of madness right now. People are just feeling kind of frantic and wild. And, Kelly says your shadow side might come out a little more than normal this week. And if that's the case, well, then that's probably not the wrong thing. So, I wondered, what is the method to your madness? Do you thrive in chaos or don't you? Some people, my desk might look like a disaster to you, but it's exactly what I need, or, things along those lines that they thrive in chaos. So I'm curious if you guys thrive in chaos or if you can't take it. Okay. So my musings this week are a call to action. There is a food pantry in Kentucky in Girard County. It's the Girard County Food Pantry. The Girard County Food Pantry, you guys, this just kills me. It They had a vandalism incident this on Sunday morning, and someone burned the food pantry to the ground. And that is so bad for so many reasons, obviously, but this is an extremely poor county where people rely on the food pantry quite a bit. Particularly, they serve 400 elderly people and 800 families every month. They assist them with food. And of course, we are just, almost to Thanksgiving, and they had over 100 Thanksgiving food boxes assembled, complete with turkeys to give out to families that needed them. They also do a Christmas program and had been assembling their Christmas boxes of toys and gifts and things like that for needy kids in their area. And somebody burned the whole damn thing to the ground. And so they are starting from square one. They are really, really worried about how they will possibly be able to service their community for Thanksgiving. and moving into the winter months where people typically struggle more financially. So, for my musings this week, calling forward just a call to action. If you feel guided, if you can afford to do it, send a few bucks their way. There is a GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe / Girard County Food Bank. If you search for it, you should be able to find it that way. So, very worthy cause. I don't know about you guys, but to me, the thought of children or elderly people being cold, going hungry, like, I just, that breaks my heart. And this whole situation just makes me heartsick. So, at any rate, that's my musings this week. And if you feel guided to, won't you send a few bucks their way? I think if enough people, see their call out and send a few dollars to them, we'll get there. They'll be able to continue to take care of the families that they serve, and it'll be all right. And if, in case you're curious, they have made an arrest. It was a woman that did it. Motive unknown at this point, but they do have somebody in custody at least. So, yikes. Okay. I'm starting something new and luminous through the end of the year. I have a holiday shopping guide. This I think is kind of fun. So, but what's crazy this morning when I was assembling it, uh, apparently Etsy is down. So I wasn't able to put everything in it that I wanted to. So I did, it's full of Jade Bloom stuff at this point, and later on I'll add all of my Etsy stuff to it. But I also wanted to open it up to you guys, my listeners. If you are a creator, if you have an online store, an artist, if you have things that you sell, if you want to put 2 or 3 things into the holiday shopping guide, you are welcome to. And I'll continue to market this through Luminous, through Facebook, through TikTok, through the Daily Dish, and through Instagram. So if you want to be involved in that, send me a message, let me know, and send me over pictures and links, and I will build a page for you in the holiday gift guide. I thought that might be a fun thing where, we do have some supply chain shortages right now, and people are struggling a little bit more to purchase and get the things in that they wanted to buy. Maybe it would be fun to expose ourselves and each other to some of the stuff that we all do. So, again, if you want to be a part of the holiday shopping guide, just send me a message and send me your stuff. I have no problem taking the time to create a page for you in that guide. So, kind of fun stuff. All right, let's take a look at bitch scopes with Kelly McLean. So here's what she said for today. For the 16th, she says, Sun sextile Pluto, desire for power and success, and Sun quincunx Eris, overcoming past repression. Okay, so let's read one scope. You know what? Let's read Scorpio, since this is the last week of their birthday. We're going to move into Sag. So, Scorpio, while your heart may seek a deep connection this week, you may be cornered in a relationship that doesn't fit the bill. This may be professional, but it is very likely temporary and exists to shake up your brain a bit. If a big change comes to mind as a result of this, guess what? It's right on time. Your creative side will lead the way. Ooh, maybe some changes afoot for some of our Scorpios, huh? Let's look at one more. Let's take a look at Cap. It may be irritating to hear this, but the hardships you've been through recently are creating fertile ground for a new start. This eclipse falls in your house of fun and romance, so you might be able to spice up your life a bit, and it is likely to have some staying power. A realization and conversation may happen out of the blue this week, offering some progress and maybe relief on a difficult issue within your family. Remember, fertilizer. That's awesome. So if you want to read your scope, just come read it in Luminous. You can also read them over at 12listen.com. But they're always awesome. Kelly just does an amazing job. So thank you, Kel. I always appreciate all of your efforts. My tip this week are some essential oils for grief and loss. Man, so many of you guys going through some hard stuff right now, going through some old grief or some new grief, really seeing it all. So, really wanting to, help support that in any way that I can. I've talked to a lot of you guys this last week that have had some grief over losses from years ago coming up for you right now. It just seems to be the energy that we are in. So, three essential oils that are amazing for grief and loss: rosewood, bergamot, and cypress. Those are all three oils that you can use and put in your heart. You can diffuse them. You could make a blend of all three of them. They all serve a little different purpose. Rosewood has gotten really hard to get. If you can't get rosewood, hoe wood is a good alternative to rosewood. Rose oil is also a great alternative to rosewood. It too has gotten fairly hard to get because, well, it's expensive as hell. And so you may not be able to come across that one either. But hoe wood, you can usually find hoe wood and it's a lot cheaper. So you might consider that. Oh my gosh. The lemon trees in my office, I know I've been saying this for 2 weeks now, but they are blooming. There are dozens and dozens of blossoms on that tree. So it's making me cough a little bit, but it's worth it. We're going to have a lot of fruit. It's already taking root all over the place. Okay. So let's keep moving here. All right. Christy from her Energy Oracle deck this week pulled us the Moth card. You can check that out and watch her video. You can also find Christy over on TikTok. She is the Eclectic Healer, and she does live streams every day doing readings and helping out her community over there. So you definitely want to go check her out. Melissa Caprio's postcard for the week: we are all mad here. The best people are. Nice little nod to Alice in Wonderland there. I know we're all mad here. I get it. Lots of stuff going on over at True Crime Paranormal this week as well. You can find True Crime Paranormal on YouTube, on TikTok, and on every podcast carrier you can think of. But there's a lot of trials going on this week that we're tracking. Yesterday, the trial of serial killer Billy Shimmering got started in Texas. That's a big one. He was killing old ladies in high-end retirement communities and stealing their jewelry. Also, the Ahmaud Arbery case is going on. Kyle Rittenhouse is going on. And yesterday, jury selection for Ghislaine Maxwell started. That's a huge one that we're tracking. So, anyway, that's kind of where it's at for True Crime Paranormal this week. We are tracking all of these ongoing cases. So, and some missing kids. There are a couple of missing kids out of Tennessee and Kentucky, cousins that got kidnapped by an uncle. And well, he's the dad of the one little boy and the uncle of the teenage daughter. He apparently had been grooming her for quite some time to believe that they were in a relationship. And he took off with both of them last week. And it looks like at this point they are in Michigan now. But he is driving a Subaru, an older gray Subaru. And you guys, I don't typically do missing persons things on this show, but I just feel like this case is not getting the attention that it needs. The family is absolutely begging people to give a shit about their kids right now and help them. And it's just not, they're not getting the attention that they need at all. So that's why typically I don't do this stuff on this show, but I am today for that reason. So their names are Amber, Claire, that's a 16-year-old girl. Noah Claire is the little boy, he's 3. Amber has dirty blonde hair and hazel eyes. Noah has light curly brown hair and blue eyes. And they are kidnapped by a guy named Jacob Clare. And Jacob Clare should not be that hard to spot. Jacob Clare is 6'7". He's a bodybuilder. He has really short, dark hair, brown eyes, a little facial hair. Dude should stand out. Now, they think it's possible that he has traded up cars and he might be in a black Ford Fusion now. But again, just anybody that is out and about, particularly in the Michigan area, keep an eye out for these kids. Their poor families are just frantic, and they have not been able to get these kids listed. There's been no Amber Alert go out because the Amber Alert system is super broken, and there's all of this criteria that a case has to meet in order to qualify for an Amber Alert, and this case doesn't qualify for an Amber Alert, which is ridiculous. That's one of the things that's one of my goals for the new year as we start really attacking the Amber Alert system in the sense of what it needs to be better, because happens all the time. And for whatever reason, this case didn't qualify. And in fact, they didn't even classify Amber as a missing or endangered child until yesterday. And she's been gone for 9 days because apparently the age of consent in her state is 16. So they're trying to tell her parents, well, I mean, she has every right. She's just a runaway. There's nothing we can do. Finally, they've decided that, okay, well, maybe Jacob Clare is a sexual predator and maybe he has kidnapped and trafficked this girl. So they've finally listed her as an endangered child, which should have been done all along. But anyway, so there you go. Please, please, please spread the word. Keep an eye out. There is a TikTok over on True Crime Paranormal. There's two of them now that I put up about this case. So if you want to go find that and track it, I would appreciate it and share it. This family really, really needs our help. All right. Anita brings us, Anita and the Masters this week, she brings us Lord Ganesha. Lord Ganesha is a wonderful Hindu deity depicted with the head of an elephant. Known as the remover of obstacles, he is a divine guide who loves to help humanity. Call on him to bless new homes, new projects or ventures, especially ones that involve writing. He loves to clear the path for us with his beautiful trunk. Often he will help us see that obstacles we perceive may not actually be obstacles at all. Lord Ganesh is very gentle and loving with a lovely sense of humor. Call on him to visit you in your dreams or to provide you with a sense of his presence. He is a faithful and compassionate guide. Love it. All right, so that's luminous. So thanks, you guys, for taking an eye on that with me, or keeping an eye, taking an eye, taking a look. But and I'm really excited again for the gift guide. So if you are a artist or creator of any sort and you want to be a part of that, just reach out and let me know. I would love to make you a part of it too. All righty. Laurie said she cannot do the chaos. She said people are freaking the F out everywhere. Yes. Yes, they are. I hear that. Hey, Shayna. Yep. I kind of go back and forth. I can thrive in chaos. I've had to, you know, years, what, 10 years? I had a home daycare with chaos around me at every turn. And I just had to learn how to thrive. But at any rate, oh, Quelly, my Jade Bloom link. Actually, I put the post directly above yours is the holiday gift guide. And you can click on the Jade Bloom page and it takes you, that is the link. If you, yeah, if you can do that. If not, let me know and I'll go find it for you for sure. Hopefully that's it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Well, and Sid, you make a really good point. The lunar eclipse with Uranus and Taurus, which is happening in 2 days, has people a little messed up right now, right? But yeah. So we are doing full moon fairy tale tarot today because we are facing a full moon. Pretty exciting. But Maureen said this energy is kicking her butt, exhausted and listening to her body. Oh, her MRIs and additional views and ultrasound are normal. Good. Good, as expected. But at least you know, are getting hooked up with some downtime here that you desperately needed. So we'll take it. All right. Well, with that being said, let's do full moon fairy tale tarot. So, here on the Katie Weaver Show, every month when we are closest to the full moon, I pull a card from the Fairy Tale Tarot deck by Lisa Hunt, and we read the fairy tale. This is always fun so bear in mind that the card has already been pulled. The question that I asked was, what do we need to know for the full moon? So, what do we need to know moving into this full moon period? That was the question. All right. So, the card itself, it's the Five of Cups. It looks like, to me, it looks like an old man, maybe, or an old woman, an older person with frozen hair. They're standing in some kind of a body of water. There's a lot of stones at their feet. They're holding what looks like kind of like Pandora's box, a box or something that they've pulled the lid off of and released something out into the stratosphere. All right. So let's check it out. So it is the story of Urashima and the turtle. It's from the Japanese culture. The keywords are loss and regret. Long ago, in a small Japanese village, there lived a young man named Urashima. Urashima was a skilled fisherman who took daring trips into rough water where the fish were most abundant. One day, Urashima caught a turtle in his net. Urashima was a good hearted man and promptly let the turtle go. "You are free to go back home," he said, as he gently prodded the turtle and watched it swim away. Years later, while at sea, a fierce storm blew in unexpectedly, and many fishermen drowned. Urashima struggled to keep his boat from capsizing, but after a while the waves overtook his vessel. Before Urashima knew what was happening, a turtle swam up from the depths and told Urashima to climb on its back. Feeling tired and defeated, Urashima mounted the creature before submerging into the frigid waters. "You saved me once, and now it is my turn to save you," said the turtle as it carried Urashima through the deep sea. They arrived at a beautiful coral castle, attended by sea creatures. The fish served as guides and told him all about the palace of the Dragon King of the sea. The turtle then transformed into a beautiful princess and took Urashima to her father. The king, appreciative to Urashima for having saved his daughter many years earlier, invited him to stay in the realm of eternal youth. "Marry my daughter, live here with us, and you will never grow old," offered the king. Urashima, thinking how lovely the princess was, agreed to stay. They were wed amidst the beautiful shimmering colors of the castle. After a lavish banquet, Urashima was given a grand tour of the imperial grounds. Urashima was so entranced by the underwater kingdom that he nearly forgot about his former life. But one morning, he felt a great desire to return to the surface, and the more he thought about it, the more he yearned to go home just one more time. The princess begged him not to go. She worried that if Urashima returned to the land, he would never come back. Urashima reassured her that he only intended to visit his old home briefly before returning to her father's kingdom forever. The princess looked at her husband sadly as she handed him a beautiful box tied with a red silken cord. "Promise me, Urashima, no matter what, do not open this box. It contains something precious, and opening it will invite something terrible." What could possibly go wrong here? "I promise," said Urashima with a smile that meant, "I'm going to open this. This is the first chance I get." Okay. Several sea creatures escorted Urashima back to the world above. He waved to his beloved until he could no longer see her. When he felt sand beneath his feet, he walked out of the water and to the shore. He looked around. It was the same beach and the same village, but something didn't seem quite right. He went up to the house and saw a stranger walk out. Sir, have you seen my family? I'm Urashima. The stranger eyed Urashima suspiciously. The story of Urashima, the fisherman's drowning, goes back hundreds of years ago. Perhaps you are a spirit of Urashima come to visit? Could it be, thought Urashima? What seemed like days at the underwater palace was really hundreds of years on the surface? Urashima ran to the cemetery and confirmed his worst fears. There, next to his parents' gravestones, stood a stone with Urashima's name on it and the date of his presumed death. The epitaph read, "The sea claimed our beloved son." Urashima staggered back to the beach, reeling in all of the confusion. He had forgotten about the sea creatures and instead grabbed the red silk cord of the box. Knew it. You knew we'd have to do it. Perhaps the contents would make me feel better, he thought. Why? Why would you think that? He slowly lifted the lid and heard a poof before a purple cloud blew over him and drifted out to sea. He suddenly dropped the box. His hands ached as they shriveled before his eyes. He felt himself grow heavy as he hunched over weakening legs. And while doing so, he looked into a pool of water and saw a very old man reflected back at him. A tear rolled down his face, dropping into his reflection before he fell down dead. Okay, that's the whole story. So, symbols and meaning. The beach is littered with debris and dead organic matter. The rocks and pebbles on the are smooth after being eroded by the unrelenting seawater. The turtle shell, a symbol of longevity, has been abandoned. The fish bones symbolize death. The old man in the sky reminds us that all things must pass and death is inevitable. The red box represents the female principle and contains life force. By lifting the lid, Urashima has allowed youth and vitality to escape like dust in the wind. His disintegrating clothes and physique depict the decay and end of a cycle. Is this like a bedtime story or? All right, here is the author's interpretation of the fairy tale. Remember, this is what we should be expecting for the next week, or the next full moon cycle. A great sadness and regret have come upon us. We feel loss as the tides of change have dealt a cruel hand of fate. The best we can do is accept our loss and move forward. Sometimes the initial sadness of change can stimulate creativity and opportunity. We need to mobilize our will and look ahead. Okay. All right. So, interpretations certainly welcome if you have anything you want to add to that. There has definitely been an energy here the last little bit, and obviously coming in with this full moon eclipse of grief. And, we talked about that a little earlier in the show. It really compounded, I think, around also, around the Day of the Dead, right around the Halloween area, because we definitely are missing those that have passed. That's something that is a constant. And when the veil is thinner, you feel them more. And sometimes I think that creates a little bit of regret or grief coming up. Maybe not regret, let's just call it grief. But at any rate, I think that this is a really good time for us to recognize what we're feeling and why. So often, when you start feeling some kind of grief coming in or discomfort, you may not know exactly why you're feeling that or what it means. And so I do like this as an opportunity to be able to Really evaluate it. For example, if you're missing an animal that's passed, is it because you're feeling them around you? Is it because it's time to bring a new pet into your life? What does it mean for you, right? If you are feeling particularly full of guilt about somebody's passing, maybe it's because it's time to do some mediumship and work with them and let it go and move on from that kind of energy. I think it's just a good time to ask a few deeper, heavier questions, and we are certainly coming to the end of Scorpio, and Scorpio likes us to get deep and dark and heavy and dirty. So maybe this is just a good time for it. So, at any rate, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I feel like it's time for all of us to take a look at whatever kind of grief we're going through or energies, such as that, and not try to ignore it away, but actually, look it in the eye. Pamela said, happily never after. Right? Just had to open the damn box, didn't he? You knew he would. They always do. Sid said, I like this story for its mental images and zero violence, except for Hiroshima dropping dead because he ignored his wife's warning. Sid, that's a good reminder. Don't blow off your wife's warning, you guys. Hello. All he had to do is what she said and he would have been fine. But no, he just had to do it. Yep. Oh, Sid said, you read my mind about missing passed on animals. I've been doing the rehash, what I would have, could have done differently. I thought it's because I have had 4 dogs that passed around Halloween and Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm sorry, Sid. Well, babe, I haven't known you through the passing of all of those animals, but the ones that I have, I know, and I hope you do know that you've done absolutely everything you could. You know, I know you have. And I know from working with the animals and the in mediumship with those animals that they are at peace, that you've done everything that you could. Let yourself off the hook. It's okay. All right. Well, I did want to get to a few readings before the end of the show. So if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I am much more likely to pick on readings that are specific questions rather than general readings. So throw your questions here at me, and I would love to connect with those. And you can do that in TikTok. You can do that in any of the chats. Tara said, we're in the middle of a snowstorm here in Alberta. It took twice as long to get to work, and I am definitely aching. Feeling hopeful that I get the new job closer to home on days like this. Oh, babe, I'm going to hold space with you that happens so that you don't have to travel so far. I get you. I do not like traveling on slick roads at all. Okay, back to the chaos conversation. Denise said it depends on who creates the chaos. If I do it by procrastination, I can rise to the occasion. Oh, Denise, I so feel that. And handle the chaos. Someone else handling me chaos, however, I can be indignant at their lack of responsibility. I so feel that to my very core. Yeah, I cause a lot of my own problems as well. I've always hoped I would grow out of procrastinating, but I don't think it happens. It's not happening. And unfortunately, I raised some procrastinators. Now, Matea is 100% on top of everything. She's got it in the bag. She's always got everything done. She's thinking about it. She's making plans. She called me today to see if I want to go to a concert with her in March. She's always got things figured out. By the way, it's Letterkenny Live. Yeah. Hell yes, I want to go. But yeah, I could learn a lot from her. However, Micah is just like me for totally procrastinating everything, flying by the seat of his pants. Yeah. Scott, too, is a little more organized than that most of the time. So, Micah and I both drive him completely crazy, but it's what it is. Quelly said she is missing her youth. Premenopause is not fun. Ah, boo. Down. Down with that. Okay. Oh, let's see. Rebecca wanted to know what happened to the deer. So Rebecca witnessed a deer the other day run through traffic and crash into the side of a building, and a window, crash into a plate glass window and keep going. Rebecca, huge yikes on that still. He did run away, but he seemed to be a little injured, and we had felt like he was really spooked because of hunting season that he was running. And you know how deer are actually really prone to this. They will run in a really frantic way that does drive them out in front of cars, into windows, into dangerous situations because they are that panicked. And that's how he was. So let's tune into him, Rebecca, and see if we can find him. He has an injured leg. It's not broken though, but he is limping. So far, he's okay. I just really worry about him because now he's hurt and hunting season is upon us. And I'm just going to wrap him up in a lot of light. Though he's not nearly as panicked and freaked out as he was the other day, babe. He did get to a safe place. So there is that. But yeah, he is hurt. Poor guy. Okay. So I wonder if we should do a little singing bowl work. One thing I'm hearing from a lot of you guys is that you are feeling a little out of your bodies, a little out of your element. Oh, I don't have a striker. Okay. Never mind. I have a bowl in front of me with no striker, so we're not going to do that. Yeah. How's that for leading you on? Okay. I'm going to just jump back in the chat room here quickly. Okay. Terry would love to have a card if there is time. Terry, there is. You know, I'm still using the gratitude deck. I just don't want to put it away. This is the Angela Hartfield gratitude deck. And, you know, as you know, our dear Angela passed about 6 weeks ago. And I just still am using her decks a lot right now because, well, I want to. So, Terry, let's pull you a few cards. I feel like this time of year, I think Terry is hard for you with your family situation, and you can always use a little extra hope. So, I'm going to pull three. Let's just ask what you need to know right now and two action cards to build on that. Okay. One more. Sorry. I always want to use these cards, and then I realize that my hands aren't strong enough to use these cards. But we make it work, right? We can make it happen. Okay. Okay. All right. So the main card, Terry, is wisdom. I mean, the card itself is actually an old man, but I feel like this is you as the crone, you know? You are the crone. You are the wise woman in your family. And I feel like this holiday season, you really have to just make the decisions that work for you and let the cards fall around you. So if other people, you know, come along for the ride, great. If they don't, great. I feel like between now and the winter solstice, and then, you know, hitting that winter solstice and moving into mid year or the first part of the year, mid wheel, that you find yourself in a place of just needing to withdraw. It's not a bad place. It's not a depressed place. It's an introverted place where you're just pretty happy with your own company and very disinterested in buying into other people's drama and chaos. And I suspect that you'll stay home a lot. I could really see you working on some creative projects, you know, doing some art or other creative things at home and just really focusing on things like that and not giving a whole lot of energy to other people's bullshit. I just don't think you have the energy for it right now. And that's good. It's in a good place, not a bad place. All right, the action cards. The first card is patience. And honestly, again, that's just you having patience with yourself. I think letting yourself lower your expectations of what you're demanding from you, because I feel like you tend to do that, you know? You tend to hold yourself to a higher standard than you hold everybody else. And I think you're just a little bit sick of it, pretty worn out on that. All right. And the last card is tears. This, I think, is really important, Terry, because it's about letting yourself let go of what was, letting yourself let go of old traditions, old expectations, the way things are supposed to be, and giving yourself an opportunity to just do things a different way that's comfortable for you without having to force yourself out of your shell and with also without having to compromise your own values. Because over and over again, you have been asked to go along with somebody else's shtick, you know, go along with somebody else's ideas or plans, be the whippings post for other people's anger and stuff. And I think you're just over it and done with it and you're ready to let go of it. And that you may cry some real healthy tears in letting that go. Yeah. Okay. Shayna would love a card if there's time. Absolutely, Shayna. As soon as Thanksgiving is over, I'm going to start reading with the Beltane cards until the first, or the solstice cards until the first of the year. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys to see them. Okay, the card is the prayer card. I think for Shayna, I think this card for you is a really good indication that you need to stop and slow down. You need to give yourself a chance to rest. It isn't necessarily prayer. Maybe it's meditation. You know, maybe it's just daydreaming. Maybe it's moving meditation, like, you know, some kind of easy stretching, Pilates, yoga, whatever it is for you. I feel like it's just a reminder that your brain needs opportunities to slow down. Your brain needs opportunities to rest. I feel like your brain never quits. You are a constant thinker. So, the way you finally get that to settle is by focusing on your root chakra. So, spending some time outside, carrying a dark crystal, diffusing tree resin oils like frankincense or sandalwood, taking a sea salt bath. Those are all really good ways to help nurture your root and pull you into your body and slow that constant mind chatter. Because that mind chatter, I feel like, keeps you in a state of chaos and in a state of survival mode that's uncomfortable. I think you're ready for a break from it. And I think that when that calms down, you feel much more connected to your spirit, to your intuition, to your angels and guides. It's a good thing for you. Excuse me. Terry said you hit the nail on the head once again. Good, babe. I'm excited to see how this holiday goes for you. No expectations, right? Just doing what's right for you. Chris wanted to know, are you seeing a mass exodus from the planet in the next year or two? I am not. We have had a pretty good exodus the last 3 years. The next 2 years, I actually feel like we're settling into a little easier place where we won't see quite as much loss. Maureen would like a card regarding finances. Her husband is working so many hours and is the glue keeping the company going. Yep, he sure is. Yep. And he's doing okay. I know you're worried about him, babe. I know he's working a million hours and you're a little worried about his health and how he's doing with it all, but I really feel like he's okay. Okay. All right, Maureen. The card is understanding. I love that. This is such a good affirmation for you. I think that your relationship with your husband has moved into such a supportive place. And I know there's been some challenges in the past and some, scuttling about trying to find a place where everybody's comfortable. But I really like that affirmation for you that you guys have found it and that his support and ongoing support for you while you've been through so much transition this year is there. And of course, your support for him while he continues to develop this business and hold it together. I know that, you guys have really come full circle with some hard stuff. And here you are in a much, much more comfortable spot. That understanding card, I think, is just what we can expect through the end of the year for you guys is really, really good teamwork and cohesiveness and understanding of each other's needs. You've worked hard to get here. You sure deserve it. Well, you guys, we've done what we do. We have talked down to the end of the show. So I want to remind you that I am a professional psychic advisor over at 12listen.com. That's number one, number two, listen.com. And you can find me over there every single day doing readings, mediumship, animal communication, tons of energy work. I'll do whatever I can do to help. I will do. So you guys are welcome to come and find me over there. And of course, you'll find me, Katie Brower Weaver, on TikTok. You'll find me over on YouTube, here on Facebook. Lots and lots of ways to connect. But I do want to thank you all so much for being here and bid you a good week. And I'm excited to see your pictures of the eclipse. I hope you get to experience them. I hope I do. I have to first talk Scott into going with me because he's my only sidekick these days. And secondly, talk the weather into being clear so that we can see it. But the night of the 18th into the 19th, that's the eclipse, and we should see it in North America. So very exciting. You have been listening to the Katie Weaver Show here on 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.